Hey everyone, welcome back to Onyx Pages. Happy Friday, we made it. Couple things. So I did not film a Friday Reads video last week. There was a lot going on. So I want to acknowledge that because my promise was to at least do a Friday Reads video every Friday. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what I'm currently reading. I'm going to show you my sweatshirt. I'm going to set a few announcements and then I'm gonna go. So what am I currently reading? As of right now, this second, I am currently hybrid and buddy reading Legendborn by Tracy Dion, and the publisher McKeldery Books. Is that right? And in Margaret K. McKeldery Books. So this is a YA fantasy, and we are following a character, Bree. Bree's mother has just passed away. She is starting university, and she is finding out about a secret order that that is operating on her campus and also in the city and potentially in the world. And she's learning about this magical world. At the same time, she's trying to figure out the truth about her mother's death. I am buddy reading this with Noria from Chronicles of Noria, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It has a lot of the elements that I love about books. So number one, it is like there's a fast-paced energy to it. There are different kinds of monsters, different kinds of magic that are described in like really fun ways. So color and texture and smell and all of those things. So it's very like, it's fun, fast-paced, rich. It's a very populated world. I love books that take place in schools, especially schools where magic is involved and where some people know about the magic and some people don't know about the magic. And I also enjoy books that have some element of secret societies. So if you're thinking about Akata Witch, for example, by Dr. Nnedi Okorafor, that would be an example of a book like that. And there are a bunch of other books like that I really enjoy. So far, Legendborn is hitting a lot of the points. There's already a gender non-binary character. The main character experiences sexism and racism in her everyday experience, and that makes her a more believable black female protagonist. And there's a lot. So I'm so far enjoying it. I'm on chapter 12, and there are over 48 chapters at least. And I have to say that I'm listening to it on Audible, and the narration is really great. I should probably find for you who's narrating, but I'm enjoying it. The narrator is very skilled. I'm getting a sense of the different characters. I'm able to distinguish them by their voices, and the way that she voices the monsters is actually quite enjoyable. So I don't know that I'll be able to get the name of the narrator, but I will at some point tell you who that is. But I'm very much enjoying what I'm reading. Okay, so that is, I should also mention that the reason I'm reading Legendborn right now is because this is my slow read pick for the Throwbackathon. Yeah, so I think that Legendborn satisfies a bunch of different prompts for the Throwbackathon. And when I talk about it some more, I'll tell you which prompts. And the Throwbackathon, if you're not familiar with it, the Throwbackathon is a readathon that was created by the wonderful minds of the Black Prose Club. So that would be Troy Nicole, Oshale from Oshi Reads, and also Brittany from Melanin Eclectic. So you can find out more about the Throwbackathon if you go to their Instagram and look for them under Black Prose Club or hashtag Throwbackathon. I believe it's Throwbackathon 2021 for this year, but also if you check on YouTube, you'll find their announcement video, which is spectacularly done. The graphics and everything for this year, for this cycle of the Throwbackathon has been amazing. And in fact, let me just take a few minutes. I know that I should prepare this earlier, but you know what? My Friday read videos are supposed to be casual and no stress. So let me just find the Throwbackathon. So this year, let's see. Yeah, Throwbackathon 2021. Oh, so this actually fulfills a couple of the prompts. So it's themed this year is 80s and 90s Black sitcoms. Reading prompt 1 is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I'm just reading from my phone, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Read a rags to riches story, or one where the main character moves to an environment where they're out of place. Oh, okay. So Legendborn actually fulfills prompt number 1. Oh, this is fun. It fulfills prompt number 1 because the main character moves to an environment where they're out of place. So Bree is out of place in this university, in this college, sorry, Canadian, in this college because number 1, she's surrounded by wealth. The secret society is full of people who are wealthy and like from old families in the South. And so she feels out of place in that environment, in the school itself, but also in this secret society that she's learning more about. So that's prompt number 1. Prompt number 2, The Cosby Show. Read a book with a strong Black family represented positively. I would say that Legendborn also fulfills prompt number 2 because Bree has a strong sense of family values, and you can see that when you observe her relationship with her father. And there's just one phrase that her father, that they say in their family a lot, which is, "What is your word worth?" And so there's a scene here where Bree doesn't measure up. She doesn't fulfill a promise that she made to her father. And he says to her, "What is your word worth?" And then we're in her mind, right? It's written from her point of view. So we hear her say, like, in my family, we would constantly ask each other, like, what is your word worth? And it's sort of like one of those things that parents say to children to get them to think about what it means to move with integrity. And I think that is an example of, a strong family. Her father cares about her, is worried about her because she's still grieving her mother's passing, and is really proud of her for going to this university. It's a prestigious university, and she earned it because she's super, super, super smart. So, although that's not the assumption that her peers make of her, they think that she was an equity admittance. So yes, that fulfills reading prompt number 2. Reading prompt number 3, Family Matters, The Glow Up. Read a coming of age story that you can relate to. That's a lot of factors. So, well, it's only 2. This is not a coming of age story because she's already, I consider coming of age stories to be stories where somebody's transitioning from one sort of life stage to another, like moving into adolescence or moving into womanhood, or also transitioning right into your proper gender. So those things would be for me kind of like coming of age, but this I wouldn't call a coming of age story. The focus isn't so much on her growth and development as a person. It's more about her learning an aspect of herself potentially in the context of this school. And living single. I get by with a little help from my friends. Read a book where the friendships are integral to the story. I don't know yet if this is going to fulfill the prompt, but I will say that Bree has a best friend named Alice who also is at the school, and I think they're dorm mates. And I'm moved by how much Bree's relationship with Alice is a part of her day-to-day experience, right? She thinks about Alice, she fights with Alice. Alice is worried about their friendship sort of separating and becoming less strong as a result of Bree's newfound interests. So there seems to be a strong friendship. I don't know if it's going to be central to the story because I'm really early on in the story. And then prompt 5, a different world. Read a book that takes place in university. There we go. So, and then reading prompt 6, different strokes. Reader's choice. Read a book inspired by your favorite book sitcom. I don't have a black sitcom. I don't have a favorite black sitcom. So yeah, this is pretty good. It's hitting a lot of the prompts for Throwbackathon. Now, had I filmed a video last week, I would have told you that I was reading She Came to Slay. This is written by Dr. Erica Armstrong Dunbar. She Came to Slay is a story of the life and times of Harriet Tubman. Tommy and I watched Harriet, the movie, a couple of weekends ago, and I'm glad that I watched it. I've always been interested in the life of Harriet Tubman ever since I was a little girl, and one of my favorite childhood books is actually, should be right here, might not be, is Harriet's Daughter, written by Marlene Norbese Phillip, there it is. It's Harriet's Daughter, and it tells the story of tells the story of Margaret, who is living in Canada, parents from the Caribbean, and just trying to figure out how to manage in Toronto. And she creates this like kind of game imaginary world where she is Harriet Tubman. And I just loved this book, and I've always loved the story of Harriet Tubman as a child. But as I've gotten older, and especially as I've started to think about Black science fiction and fantasy, and about the strength and power of Black freedom fighters like Harriet Tubman, I've started to think about some of the things that they've done, like their heroism, as a superpower. So the more I learn about what Harriet Tubman accomplished as one woman, working of course in alliance with others, but as one Black woman, a small Black woman, I just feel prouder of her legacy and really inspired by her story. So She Came to Slay is very accessible. It's a very accessible read. I'm able to read it pretty quickly. I'm not doing a hybrid read. I'm just reading it with my eyes. There are photographs in the book. There are these beautiful illustrations as well. And they're sort of like, they look like that. Beautiful illustrations, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm obviously not reading it from cover to cover right now. I'm reading it in between other things. I am also participating in the Octavia E. Butler slow read. I'm leading Friday night slow reads with a group of people. We are reading Clay's Arc. This is the third book, Wild Seed, Mind of My Mind, Clay's Arc. Third book in the Patternist series. Our live show is on March 28th, so we've been getting together on Fridays for a couple of hours to read and respond to the book. This was written by Octavia E. Butler, and it's a very wild read. So doing that slowly with the group, and then in between every couple of books or so, I'm reading a chapter of, or a portion of, Body Minds Reimagined, Disability, Race, and Gender in Black Women's Speculative Fiction. This was written by Dr. Sami Schalk, and it was published by Duke University Press. And this book is helping me think about, in particular, think about disability representation from an intersectional perspective in the books that I'm reading. So this is a slower read for me. It's an academic read, and although she switches from, academic language to sort of more accessible prose, but I'm reading it pretty slowly. I'm not sure why. I'm finding it's so edifying, but I'm finding it hard to get through just the density of the language and the density of the concepts. It's only like 150 pages or so, and 145 pages. My video ran out. So if you've watched this video all the way to the end, please include an emoji of something that inspires you this Friday, and I will see you later. Tonight there's going to be the OEB slow read of Clay's Arc. My guest is going to be Regina Renee. It's at 7 o'clock Eastern, so you're welcome to join me on my channel, and we will be continuing to read Clay's Arc. All right, everyone, read with purpose.